the fall of humanity. For decades, whispers had echoed through the cosmos that humanity's light was fading, that Earth was destined to become a memory. Then came the great cataclysm. In a matter of hours, the alien armada known as the Vracs descended upon Earth with ruthless precision. The day began like any other, but by noon the skies darkened under the shadow of colossal angular warships. Their weapons, unlike anything ever seen, erased entire cityscapes with blinding flashes and shockwave ripples. Major metropolises crumbled as citizens looked on in disbelief. The streets transformed into apocalyptic battlegrounds. Government buildings, monuments of human achievement, were reduced to rubble. Amid the chaos, desperate broadcasts pleaded for help, while the Vracs reveled in their conquest. Through the crackling interstellar transmissions, their cold, disdainful voices declared, "Your time has ended, humanity is no more." Yet deep in the debris of shattered dreams, small pockets of resistance flickered to life. In underground bunkers and hidden safe houses, brave souls gathered to salvage what remained. Families huddled in the ruins, clinging to memories of better days and praying for a miracle. The world had fallen, but the indomitable spark of humanity had not yet been extinguished. Unknown to the conquerors far beyond the devastated Earth, a secret hope was being nurtured among the stars. The last fleet emerges. While Earth burned, the remnants of humanity had long ago taken refuge in the silent corridors of deep space. Concealed beyond the reach of the Vracs' immediate grasp, a clandestine armada of battlecruisers and colony ships drifted in suspended animation. For decades, these vessels had been a lifeboat for millions, a repository of human ingenuity, culture, and the relentless will to survive. Aboard the flagship Aurora's Wrath, Admiral Nathaniel Nate Rhodes stood before a panoramic viewport of the star-speckled void. His eyes, etched with memories of loss and quiet determination, scanned the endless night. "They believed us defeated," he murmured, his voice resonating with a mix of sorrow and fury. Around him, officers and crew members, each with their own tales of heartache and hope, prepared for the day they would answer the call to reclaim their birthright. Within the fleet's vast network, cryo chambers gently hummed with the dormant. Dreams of soldiers, engineers, scientists, and ordinary citizens. These chambers held more than just bodies in stasis. They safeguarded the legacy of Earth. Plans and blueprints for new technologies, salvaged from the ashes of a once thriving civilization, lined the corridors of the flagship. In hidden meeting rooms and strategy centers, whispers of rebellion grew louder. Humanity was not gone. It was waiting, gathering strength for the inevitable reckoning. Awakening the giant, the silent slumber of the fleet was not eternal. One by one, the cryochambers began to stir, their occupants emerging from deep sleep into a reality unrecognizable yet achingly familiar. The awakening was a blend of disorientation and fierce resolve. Each soul carried the weight of Earth's legacy and the burning desire to fight back. In the central command hall of Aurora's Wrath, Admiral Rhodes addressed the newly awakened crew. "We were written off as lost, relics of a forgotten age," he began, his voice firm and unwavering. "But let it be known, we are humanity incarnate, resilient, resourceful, and ready for vengeance. Today, we rise from the ashes to reclaim our destiny." His words reverberated through the room, igniting a flame of determination that spread from the engineers fine-tuning ancient systems to the battle-hardened veterans whose eyes gleamed with unspoken promises of retribution. In the hours that followed, the crew pored over detailed reports of the Vracs' tactics and strategies. War rooms buzzed with the clatter of keyboards and the low murmur of strategists mapping out their revenge. Every spark of memory, whether it was the taste of freedom on a summer day or the laughter shared in the warmth of a family home, served as a rallying cry. Humanity had not faded into obscurity. It had been lying in wait, preparing to become a force that would shake the very foundations of the cosmos, forging a vengeance. With their eyes fixed on the enemy's heart, the fleet set a daring course for the heart of the Vracs Empire. Over long months of interstellar travel, Every moment aboard the ships was spent transforming despair into determination. The engineers, drawing on both salvaged alien tech and time-tested human ingenuity, retrofitted weapons and defenses. Blueprints were redrawn, and the dull hum of machinery was replaced by the rhythmic pulse of preparation for a war long overdue. On the bridge of Aurora's Wrath, Admiral Rhodes studied a holographic star map that glowed with potential targets, each point a symbol of the Vrax's arrogance. "They thought us extinct because we hid in the shadows," he said quietly, his finger gliding along the projected routes. "But we've been sharpening our edge in secret. It's time to remind them that the human spirit, though battered, is unbreakable." Around him, teams of pilots engaged in simulated dogfights, while strategists fine-tuned plans that exploited every chink in the enemy's seemingly impenetrable armor. In the engineering decks, sparks flew as outdated systems were fused with alien innovations. The air buzzed with both literal and metaphorical energy as crews worked side by side, overcoming language barriers and differences to build a united front. Conversations in cramped corridors often turned to personal memories, a shared yearning for Earth's lost beauty, a resolve to never let such destruction occur again. Each modification, every retrofitted weapon, was imbued with the weight of history and the promise of retribution. Humanity was no longer a silent remnant. It was a roaring tempest ready to surge back. The return, the long-awaited moment of reckoning, arrived like a bolt from the blue. Out of hyperspace and into the heart of a star system dominated by the Vrax, the human fleet emerged with a fury that sent shockwaves through the cosmos. The scene was nothing short of cinematic. A dazzling array of battle cruisers, fighters, and support vessels converged like a tidal wave of retribution, their engines blazing with a ferocious light. In the chaos of space, colossal starships engaged, in a deadly ballet with sleek Vrax cruisers. Explosions lit up the darkness, punctuating the silence of space with bursts of brilliant, violent light. Admiral Rhodes, his face illuminated by the glow of control panels and distant detonations, barked orders that cut through the tumult. "Hold the line. For every lost life, for every dream sacrificed, we fight back as one." His command resonated through the fleet, and in that moment, every pilot, technician, and soldier was bound by a single, unyielding purpose. The battle was a masterclass in unconventional tactics. Smaller fighter squadrons, agile and relentless, darted around the massive Vrax warships, exploiting blind spots and luring enemy vessels into carefully laid traps. Sacrifices were made. Ships that had been the lifeblood of the fleet were lost, in dazzling, heroic bursts of light, but each loss only fueled the collective resolve of those still fighting. The Vrax, once arrogant in their assumptions, found themselves disoriented by the unpredictable and relentless nature of human warfare. Every explosion, every calculated maneuver was a testament to the fact that humanity was far from extinct. It was a force to be reckoned with. A new dawn as the final echoes of battle faded into the cold silence of space. A new reality began to take shape. The Vrax command structure had been shattered, their armada scattered like broken pieces of a once formidable mosaic. In the wake of the human onslaught, a calm settled over the battlefield, a calm that carried the promise of rebirth. Aboard Aurora's Wrath, Admiral Rhodes addressed his weary yet triumphant crew. "Today, we did more than reclaim territory," he said, his voice soft with exhaustion and hope. "We reclaimed our identity, our destiny. We have proven that even in the darkest night, the human spirit can ignite a new dawn." His words were met with a chorus of cheers and quiet nods of understanding, a silent vow that the sacrifices made would never be forgotten. In the days that followed, the remnants of the Vrax were driven into the outer reaches of space, forced to abandon the regions they had once dominated. Across star systems, reports emerged of planets and colonies beginning to rebuild. Communities came together, blending old Earth traditions with the innovations born from adversity. The scars of war were visible, but so too were the seeds of renewal. Gardens thriving on reclaimed soil, cities rising from the ruins, and people rediscovering the bonds that defined them as human. The legacy of the last fleet became a beacon of hope, a legend whispered in the corridors of newly built outposts and sung by survivors gathered around communal fires. Admiral Rhodes, ever the reluctant hero, often walked quietly among his people, content in the knowledge that his mission had sparked a renaissance. Humanity had once been written off as extinct, but through courage, ingenuity, and an unyielding will to survive, it had risen, stronger and more determined than ever, to forge a future filled with promise. And so, as the first light of a new dawn spread its golden glow across the galaxy, the story of humanity's resurgence stood as a reminder. No force in the universe could ever truly extinguish the indomitable flame of the human spirit.